We are joined by Bob Weiner, a National Democratic strategist. Worked for a lot of our beloveds like John Conyers, among others.
Claude Pepper, Ed Koch, Ted Kennedy.
You got to get right up on here, Bob.
Climb on the mic. Okay.
Give us your thoughts.
Well, it was morning.
Did you say Fox also didn't air Mothers of the Movement?
I couldn't believe it. Well, every other network ran it, and Fox didn't air those victims, the gun victim families. And so, what do they want? They want death in America. That's what they want. It's really. I loved what Hillary did, coming right at the NRA and being in the pocket of the NRA. That was just an amazing.
Do we have that? Yeah, I would love to hear that. Hillary Clinton
is not afraid, and
Hillary Clinton. Cut 7.
If we're serious about keeping our country safe, we also can't afford to have a president who's in the pocket of the gun lobby.
Bam. And then skip to 10, which Francis and Angela and I were talking about this morning. Go ahead.
I'm not here to repeal the Second Amendment. I'm not here to take away your guns. I just don't want you to be shot by someone who shouldn't have a gun in the first place.
Bob, as a strategist, I feel like the most effective thing that happened all week, and then certainly last night, the cartoon Hillary's gone.
Yeah.
They can't deal with the real woman. Because they're up there, she's going to take away she's repealing the Second Amendment. She's going to take away your gun, which is just patently ridiculous anyway.
Well, you can't have a president who shoots from the hip. I mean, and then to try to walk back that he said to Russia, hack Hillary, to try to, and claim he was being sarcastic. Al Franken was on saying, I know sarcasm, and you look at the facial expressions, and you look at the words, and that wasn't sarcasm. He was dead serious.
Yeah.
And he just tries to pretend we don't have videotape anymore.
Yeah. And again, speaking of all the, the conservative praise for our convention and just sort of, depression and praise. But I mean, that was bipartisan, the condemnation of Donald Trump's comments and the word treason. That wasn't just some crazy liberal saying. It was national security experts, Republican and Democrat.
Well, our convention was so well organized, from the AFT providing T-shirts and coffee.
Right.
Yay!
What up?
I mean, but to having the A-list speakers, all of the A-list speakers, and everybody running for cover from their convention, because this is a guy who shoots from the hip. This is a guy who works for, as Bloomberg said, you got to vote for sanity. You can't vote for some irrational guy and have him be president. I thought Bloomberg's message was one of the most powerful because it attracts the people that really hadn't made a decision.
And when Hillary talked last night, I can't remember what section, about small men. I'm not afraid of
well, everybody was thinking
big men.
Small, what's because of the way that Trump had done that whole issue.
I'm afraid of small men that are afraid. And I thought, true to character, Donald Trump was like a little who in Whoville. He's, I'd like to hit some of those speakers so hard at the convention. I'm like, their head would spin. It's like, just shut up, you tiny, ineffectual little man, you little bully.
And Kane's imitation, which was almost as good as yours of Trump.
I mean, on and on. Conservative reaction. The Democratic convention has been an unmitigated disaster for the GOP.
Right.
Very well produced.
But our convention, as I said, is like the difference between morning in America and darkness at noon. Because those guys
she said it. It's not morning in America, it's midnight in America for Donald
that's
Trump.
Another, It just was an awful, despicable description of we're not a great country, and we are a great country, and that came through. Of course we want to improve it. And by the way, I really loved and respected Bernie's knowledge of substance was powerful. And for us to say that that's not a contribution, that's myth to say that we had disunity in our convention. The polls show that only 8% of Bernie's people aren't going to vote now for Hillary, and that's going to shrink because they worked it out, as they said in the platform. But more than that, there was unity.
Let me give you a message of unity. I forgot to tell you guys about this. Yesterday, after the shows, I was leaving the convention. There was one Bernie or bust guy. All alone. With a sign. And he just looked at me like, and he's like, Hillary's not for you. She's in the military-industrial complex. Hillary's not for you. She's with the. And I just was like, I looked at him. I said, it's going to be okay.
But there's some truth to that.
There was one guy who was all by himself. I was like, oh, I really. bad.
Stephanie, we got to concede the realities too. Hillary knows, and she said, I'm not as good as Obama or Bill Clinton as a campaigner, but she is such a knowledgeable governor. And I've known Hillary. I've worked very closely with her.
Yeah.
So we've got to concede. And on that issue, she was not there on Iraq, but she said she made a mistake.
Yes.
She finally.
Important for a leader.
So she she learns.
Yeah.
She learns. But the Bernie
and
people had a point on that.
apparently, Donald Trump says it was a long time ago, and he was given the wrong information, and it's okay to make a mistake when it's Mike Pence.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right?
The hypocrisy. My wife points that out about the hypocrisy.
Bob Weiner, we're out of time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks
The
for
Stephanie
having
Miller
me.
Show,
Thanks, guys.
live from the
You
DNC
guys
with
are great.
Frangela. Charlie Pierce next from the DNC.